Just let the slugs wander in. Takes them a while to get in, slugs, you see.
I've got an image of like a little door. And slugs slowly going from one door to another. Like, shit's in the other room.
That's going to take 2 minutes just to turn around. We'll just go backwards. Oh, yeah, could just go backwards.
Do they? I don't think slugs can go backwards.
I don't know. Is that true?
I don't know. I need to find out now. Can slugs go backwards?
Ryan Gatch, for a minute, I was the only person here, and I didn't like it. I felt like a voyeur.
Yes, no. So snails and slugs move by contracting their muscles in their foot, in inverted commas, in sequence, generating a wave that moves from front to back. Gastropods have a very simple nervous system, and don't take that to heart, guys. And this contractile sequence is hardwired, therefore there is no mechanism for reversing the direction of the wave. You can only go forwards, guys, which is a positive thing in my opinion.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great mantra. Hey, guys, and we can only go forwards. That's really good. That's amazing. That is amazing. That is it, right. We are recording now. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for Now. We've learned something very, very important, and a big reason why you should become a moist slug. Despite the words of James East, who's currently in the chat because we've had to restart the stream, who says, first week as a moisty, not impressed. But forget him for a second because you're learning amazing stuff. We've just found out that slugs cannot go backwards, and thus we have our own mantra and the mantra of all slugs. Just keep moving forward.
We can only go forward.
We can only go forward. That's so good. We can only go forwards.
and from now, in the same way that the Mandalorians were, this is the way. When you greet another slug, you have to greet them with, we can only go forwards.
Yes,
that's the way of greeting. No hello, nothing else. We can only go forwards.
'Tis the way of the slugs.
'Tis the way.
That's amazing. So yeah. With that idea in mind, we can only.
Can everybody in the chat, all the slugs watching this, all of you, now in the chat say, we can only go forwards. I just want to see it. I just want to see. I want to feel that energy,
like a sort of march. I mean, a march that goes like this. There's no, you haven't got any.
Jamie Kelly goes forward is the only way. All right, it's a bit weird for people that don't know what we're talking about.
Yes, very true. Apologies for not being here last week. Things happen, life moves forward, and we can only move forwards. And so that's what we're going to do. Literally the chat. Become a patron, guys, if you want to enjoy the mailbag each week. The numbers are actually going up. And we went live initially.
Everybody in there.
And Flav didn't know that we were live and started sort of offering up his deepest, darkest thoughts. So you can get those for just $4, as someone in the chat said. We're up to I think we're up to 365, which is absolutely insane. So come and get involved if you want to. For less than a London pint.
Less than a pint in London town, indeed. Do you know what I like about this? Right, is that there's a guy in the chat. I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before. Called Victor. He has never said anything. He just sits there watching. And this is the only time he's ever made a comment while watching this, and he said, "We can only go forwards."
Amazing,
amazing, That's incredible. That is incredible.
So lots to talk about. Oh, we might have to do a what's trending because we've got both Nuno. Whoever keeps coming into the Discord, can they stop it, please? We've got Nuno and Conte both trending currently, unless they've just disappeared. Oh, they've disappeared now. That's all right. Don't worry. And Mourinho's trending as well, so we're gonna have a little look at that. What we're really gonna find out, the most important thing, is what really happened in the Lad Bible shoot between Ty and Flav, which dropped yesterday, which was the most difficult thing I've ever watched.
Really?
I had anxiety afterwards. I was so pleased it was over when it was over. I've got to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Because I went, do you know what I did normally? Like when you're in a video, I'll comment something before I've watched it, really. And with this one, I watched about 2 seconds of it, and I was like, okay, well, Flav will win here. So I think I put Flav with the clean sweep or something like that, just backing my boy. And then because I was doing the Champions League, I was watching Champions League stuff yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to watch it in that moment. But I've watched it this morning. Christ, I mean, a clean sweep is probably not the phrase. There was a dominance in terms of logic, sure, but was there a dominance? Not for me. But what really happened, Flav? What really happened?
It wasn't a conversation, was it? I mean, what you saw, essentially, we shoot for an hour. So that's...
Christ.
That was edited down. And obviously, you record it maybe a month ago, and a lot happens in football in that time.
No trophies, though. No trophies. You haven't won any trophies. You haven't won any trophies, though. No trophies. No trophies. No trophies. No.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things changed, but no trophies. No trophies. No trophies. I've got trophies. You got trophies. No, you haven't got trophies. I've got trophies. That's my impression.
It was kind of. It was exactly how I thought it was going to be. Really, it was just a. It was just an hour-long conversation. You weigh up whether or not to do it. Lad Bible's a good platform. Other opportunities come, and it's good for the podcast. So it's promotion, basically. That's my reason for doing it, and that's and they're a really good bunch of people. The ones I work with, certainly at Lad Bible, have been fantastic and really, really nice to work with. But I knew going into that it was just gonna. I knew what it was. You know what Ty is, and the thing is what you don't know is that Ty is actually, when he's not talking about football, he's a really, really lovely bloke.
Yeah.
It's just that through Arsenal Fan TV, he's created this. He wouldn't say it was a character. I don't think. I think he would say 100% that this is who I am and this is what I believe. But
he's put in tense situations, isn't he? Like if it's if you're sitting down having a meal at a restaurant, he's not going to talk like that.
I got a cab back with him from when he was on the overlap. I was in the cab back with him, and we were just talking about stuff other than football. And it was weird. It was having a normal conversation with a normal human being.
Lovely.
But you know what? He's employed to do what he's employed to do, and he's
I thought you tried every road, like every road. Okay, right. But you have to back what you say, like because one thing I would say, right? Like I quite like this Arsenal team, and obviously don't hate them, hate Arsenal, full stop, and certainly don't have any dislike to them to the level that you do. But the fact that they backed out of that game, I didn't realise how significant it was. But it is there's no way out of that. There's no way out of that. Just like there's no way out of the last question where they're saying have you bottled stuff? Like there's no way out of that. But they and in terms of fear, they were afraid to play. If you really, really boil it down, I didn't think about this until I watched it. If you really, really boil it down, they were fearful of the result of a match if they played it. That's the
only reason. The only reason, of course, is because they were worried about what would happen, and to be too scared to put out a team because they fear what might happen in any game is bad enough. But in a North London derby, is unforgivable. Like my respect for Arsenal was almost at zero anyway. But now there is nothing left. There is nothing left. I have absolutely no respect for Arsenal Football Club and any fan that backs that decision. Zero respect for them in a footballing sense. As human beings, I'm sure they're fine. But the ones I genuinely I feel sorry for are the ones that Arsenal fans that said we should have played because their club has betrayed them. That's
the only way out of it. If you're an Arsenal fan, that's the only way out of it. Although let us know in the comments, is there another way out of that one? Is there a way? Well,
no. Their argument is it was clever because they'll be stronger later on in the season, so it's naturally a clever thing to do. But there is, in my opinion, no dignity in that response. You play the game, you play it. Being too scared to put out a team is unforgivable in football. It goes against everything that is the game's about. It's about competition. It's about doing everything you can in order to get a result. And if your team isn't good enough, not once in my entire life have I thought this would be a good thing if Spurs called the game off. And not least using a pandemic where millions of people had died as a reason not to play the game when they had one case, and then the next day they send players out on loan who were fit to play.
That's it, isn't it? You can't.
Unbelievable!
It's mad, isn't it?
I cannot believe. I still to this cannot get my head. Well, you can get your head around it.
It's a great one for you though. It's a great one for you to have.
Gift.
It's a gift. It's such a gift for the rivalry, and like these kind of things that you're gonna have to do. That is your, because you have your final position with these things. You're like if you get sort of smoked out and have to put it forward. And so for Ty, it's like it's trophies, it's invincible season. Whereas for you, that I think that goes right to the top.
Anybody, in theory, anybody can do that, right? Anybody can go for. Arsenal aren't the first team in the UK to do it, but they're not the first team in history to do it. So it's been done before elsewhere. It must have been season unbeaten. So, but that's one thing. That's what happens in football, and it's an incredible achievement. And I take nothing away from that. As much as I hate it. That's how much I respect what they've done, because I genuinely hate that they have that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not a case of me being bitter, but this is not turning up against your most bitter rivals. That's a gift to Spurs fans.
It's mad, isn't it? Because I hadn't really thought about it. as that bigger thing. Ben says you can make the argument it's for the safety of the teams involved to prevent the spread of COVID, comma. Wait, he hasn't finished. Comma. But
right,
come
sorry.
on.
It would if they had enough cases to get it called off. There'd been multiple games where this has happened. That would be absolutely fine. The most of their injuries that happened. Do you remember against the Liverpool game before? They had a couple of injuries.
A sending off that was their own fault.
Sending off, their own fault. The injuries, well, you deal with injuries. That's why you have a squad. And then sending players out on loan. The one COVID case, if I remember right, is Odegaard. That's not cause. That isn't cause. That's using the situation for your perceived benefit. It's embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. But that, talking to Ty, it was almost he just doesn't either. He doesn't believe it, or he's just so steadfast in what.
I mean, how can you be a coward when you've gone a whole season undefeated?
Yeah, you're sort of.
They're similar things, aren't they?
You know, these things aren't conversations, though, James. You know the thing. I know. This is a.
But there was a desire to have some form of conversation in that.
Yeah, it would have been weird. It would have been weird. I can't be asked. I cannot be asked.
Was it like that for an hour? For the full hour of film, it was like that.
Every question was exactly how you saw it, and they edited down mercifully because I'd say it was probably about 45 minutes to an hour. No one wants to sit there for 45 minutes and just listen to.
The producer didn't he? The producer was like, I think we've got enough here.
No, I mean that happened every single time. There was no end to the conversation, so producer had to go. Right, boys, you need to stop, and then can you give us an ending, like something that rounds the question off. But they did a really good job. I think the format works. It's good. Yeah,
reminds me of you.
But what I said to them, I asked them when they first asked me if I was interested in getting involved. I said I can't. I really find it difficult, this format where you're putting two fans together, and then you make them who's better, Henry or Harry Kane. It's like, firstly, Harry Kane's. I don't have any control in that. I don't really care who's better. He's just Harry Kane plays for Spurs. Henry was at Arsenal, and so be it. Anyway, they just said, look, just go and have the conversation that you want to have. There's no pressure for you to say anything, and that made me feel a bit better. And then
that's good.
So my goal in that was try to as much as possible have a conversation that was bearable to listen to. But Ty takes such affront and offence to anything that's anti-Arsenal. It's impossible. It was impossible. It's impossible.
I thought he had a real good go because I think it is impossible. Have a good go. I think he had a real go.
But for the record, and he gets. I've looked at the comments and reaction, and he gets a lot of abuse. A lot of hate comes his way, and he is a nice guy outside of filming. That when he's not playing,
you can see that. I think
he's a good guy, and I don't know if you noticed in the film. Yeah, and I would don't be horrible to him. You could say he's an Arsenal mug or whatever, but don't. I would ask anybody who watches that not to send hurtful comments towards him because he reads them and it does hurt him. But right. I'd imagine. Anyway, look, what I was going to say is there was one thing. I don't know if you noticed it did make it into the edit, but it's out of context somewhat.
Well, when you walk in, there's one line I really enjoyed. You say yours, and I'll see if it was the same one.
No, it's not. It won't be the same one because it was in the middle.
Oh, okay.
What was it?
I thought you came in. You went. Maybe I heard it wrong, but are you warm? Did you say
it's a bit nippy? It was freezing in there. That's why I didn't know that would
I thought
in there.
Got all these layers on. I was like,
no, it wasn't. It was Baltic in there. It was so cold. That's why I kept my hat on. And anyway, so there was a bit where it says where I said the word hate. He hates Arsenal or hates Tottenham.
Yeah.
And he made a point like 7 times. He goes, I don't hate anybody and I don't want hate in my life. And I don't harbour that emotion for anybody or anything. So, and that hate, because it was Spurs and Arsenal, came up from my side about 4 or 5 times. And I saw him sort of recoil. So there was a bit where I said, sorry, I don't mean hate. I don't mean to bring hate into your life, that kind of thing. But that made it in, which was a bit odd because my mate Ricky asked me about what that was about. But
all right,
no, it was good. It was a good experience. It's good. It's not the end of, It's
not.
I'm old enough for it not to affect me. Like people were saying, how could you have done that? But it wasn't as unbearable as you'd think. It was fine.
No, yeah. No, it wasn't. It wouldn't. Like you were in control of your actions, which I thought we did well. I'd just scream. I think I'd just scream if it got to that word, but like, ah!
It was so fun. It was fun. I found it funny. It was like unbelievable. Sometimes the amount of time, what you didn't see, the amount of times that he would respond, and I'd look across at the producers, and I was like, "What do you want me to say? I can't do it." It was fun. It was funny. Like I would happily, as much as people kind of said it was unbearable at times, I'd happily sit in front of him and chat again. It's not a problem.
He's a nice lad. I did like someone saying, "Look, if it's Matthew Blake, if it's a character, it's brilliant. Like it's everything's dialed up a little bit. What I would love to know is like if it is a character, what does his living room look like? I love the idea that he's this like thespian who smokes a pipe, wears corduroy trousers."
I've seen him in his normal clothes.
What?
When he was in the cab. When he was in the cab, he was dressed normally. That's a uniform for when he goes. It's like a football kit, I guess. Like people wear kits, he just goes.
It's very much like Beyonce. Beyonce will wear normal clothes, and she becomes Sasha Fierce.
I genuinely believe that he believes everything he's saying, but in that he's happy with it, but he isn't like that when he's at home. I don't think he wears Arsenal stuff in the house and shit like that. I don't know. He's all right though. He's good. There's a lot of wankers on this earth, but he is not a nasty person. He's a good person.
True. Lots to talk about, I guess. I've got a lot of comments. I did the comments last week, so I don't know if I'll remember all of them. We've got some woeful fan interaction is back. We have an inverse footballers wangs. Exciting.
Wow.
If that's not exciting, I don't know what is. A cheeky Samism that made me cringe a bit. And what else we got? Some comments of the week. And so much more. What I could do with is a bit of, man glue.
Yeah.
Might need some glue PR. That's
why? What's happening?
Trademark of Louis, James and Flav community page on Twitter.
Glue PR.
Follow them, mate. I've had them. So for me, it all comes down to. Okay, let me give you context.
What's happening? Yeah.
All right. So I did QPR were doing well, right? And we had to beat Middlesbrough on last Tuesday, and we had a real shot of possibly being in the automatic promotion places. And I thought to myself, if we are getting the automatic places, I'm having some of this. I'm going to talk about my beloved hoops on my channel because I don't normally.
Yeah.
And we drew, but I thought, back the boys. Let's still do the video. Also, I didn't have any other ideas that day, so I did the video anyway. And the video basically just expressed my excitement, hope, confusion, fear, anxiety towards the current QPR situation, which is that we are 4th in the league, I think.
Yep.
And we could get automatic. We could go up through the playoffs. We could fall out of the playoffs. And I basically was just saying, I'm scared. So we did that video, and got some nice comments. People saying, "Oh, I hope you go up," and QPR fans going, "I get it. That's how I feel."
Yep.
And then we played Mate, I haven't been this nervous about QPR for so long.
Did your video make the QPR forums?
I haven't looked.
Okay, don't worry.
I don't know.
I know that nerves, that feeling, I appreciate in the entirety. I know exactly what you're feeling.
Right. Because I don't put stuff out on QPR really. I kind of do it at the end of the season, or like only at like I guess once or twice a season. But honestly, I've not been as nervous about football QPR games in a long time because we've been mid-table for 6 years. Mid-table, and I mean that. Like, no way. Like, we've had a few moments on the pod over the last 3 years where I've gone, so is that there? Because we've won 3 games on the bounce, and now we're 12th. We were 4th. We are slap bang, and still to a point in a chance for automatic promotion. We then play Barnsley away, who haven't won since November.
Yeah.
And I knew we were going to lose.
They're rock bottom as well, weren't they?
Over the years, we lost 1994, I took my whole football team to watch QPR Swindon for my birthday. Swindon, do you remember Swindon in the Prem?
Yes.
And they were probably one of the worst teams ever. Fjortov, yeah. They beat us. They beat us at home. And then as the years have gone on, we've done it to Doncaster, Burton.
It's like a mental block.
We can't beat the team down the bottom. It's the most QPR thing in the world. And I didn't realise that was the next game. So I tweeted on Saturday, I said, we'll lose this game. And I watched it. Like, thanks to Surfshark, who aren't sponsoring this one, but do support the channel and they're legends. I've got Surfshark and I'm able to kind of do the overseas thing to watch the away games. Yeah. And so we played Barnsley and lost. And I was like, I knew this was going to happen. But I was like, it's not me. I haven't jinxed it. It's not me. And then we played Millwall in the week and lost 2-0 as well. Played really lackluster. Pretty terrible. And so it all comes down to this weekend, mate. If I'm honest, it's not officially a jinx yet. It officially becomes a jinx if we don't beat Hull City at home this weekend.
Hull City being they're 5th in the league currently on 33 points, minus 10 goal difference. You are
fifth bottom. They're down the bottom.
What did I say? 5th bottom, yeah.
Sorry,
didn't I say?
You said 5th.
They're 5th bottom. 5th bottom.
So they're down there. We should got to be at home banker, mate. I know I should be saying that, but it is. I've just done it again.
You'd expect it on but you'd expect it. No, I think I'm saying home banker is you'd expect it based on how the season has gone thus far that a win might be likely. That's what I think.
Thank you.
Is the kind. Yes.
That's. But word for word, that's what I meant. Yeah. But mate, I'm like, no, don't do this. Stop. Oh mate, I haven't felt like this in ages. It's the great thing about the Championship and the Football League, and again why we need the playoffs in the Premier League. But mate, if we don't even get in the playoffs and throw this away, I'm gonna be like, I think people come for me. Honestly, they'll go, what are you doing,
James? It's fine. Yeah. Firstly, if you believe in jinxes, you're a dick. Yeah, right, there's no such thing as magic in the world. Right,
quotes of the week next week. Get that in the comments.
There's no such thing as magic. There's no such thing as karma. There's no such thing as jinxes. Right, shit just happens.
Darren Brown, Paul McKenna, big fans of the podcast, have both just gone. Oh.
No, but this is like they work. Their magic is on the pretense that people believe in it. Shit, and that's why they trick you. So, look, you did nothing wrong, James. You got excited. You run your own YouTube channel. QPR are doing right. You earned the right to talk about your football club, I think.
It's interesting, though. It's not something... not with the same concern have I made content going, yeah, we're good. And it means so much more. I realised I had no idea. Like being a Man United fan and doing a Man United channel going, and we're going to do it, lads. We're going to do it this way. And then you lose. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Yeah.
You don't want to be a meme.
I don't want to be a meme.
Oh, I don't take this wrong, though, but I don't think QPR are big enough. Yes.
George Haig says, it's all fairies, Jim. Don't worry. That said, a bit of glue PR would be nice this week. So good vibes only for... I'll
be sending my vibes your way.
Got a vibe. Do you want a bit more football? Conte is trending.
This is based on his interview. I'm getting irritated with his press conferences, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just shut up. Just shut up. Get on with it.
I think he went a bit early with this squad's not good enough thing.
Yeah, but he said it about 10 times. What do you want?
I'm saying stop saying it.
Yeah,
right?
Stop saying it. Stop, just straight back the questions. Like if you've got feel this way, go and talk to him. Don't leave you and say, look, if you don't sort this out, I'm going to leave in the end of next summer. So you need to have a plan involved, right? When we win, mentality's fantastic, players fantastic, loved it. When we lose, none of them are good enough. So what is it then, Conte?
It's a bit Mourinho-esque, is it not?
Absolutely. If Mourinho had said the same things, people
would go mad, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So look, obviously he's fucking brilliant. It's like amazing that we got him, and I really do think like if there is one club that will fuck up this chance, it could be Tottenham. Like in terms of, got a great manager, let's spend loads of money to give him the best shot. That's what everyone wants. We can easily not do that. But Daniel Levy could easily not do that, right? So if that doesn't happen, then that's really frustrating. And essentially, why it's I guess such an irritating thing to hear as a Spurs fan is because he's saying all the things we don't want to believe in. We don't want the truth. We don't want to feel like we're throwing an opportunity with such a great manager away. But to say like we're weaker now than we were when the transfer window closed is a worrying thing for him to say because those players weren't playing. So we can't be weaker. We've got two players that have now been part of the first team squad. So it's confusing what he's saying.
Yeah.
But Dele Alli wasn't anywhere near. And Ndombele kept pulling him off. So his attitude wasn't correct. You saw what happened against Morecambe, and if you did see, but he was all wrong what he's doing. And Lo Celso was consistently poor, and we brought in two players that obviously Conte must have sanctioned. No, it's just right. Look, we realise it. We're not good enough. We've had one transfer window, we've got another one in the summer. Do your best. You don't have to say every single time we play poorly that it's the players' fault. You got outdone twice by Hasenhüttl. We were down to Southampton were down to 10 men, and we had 11 for 60 minutes, and they were still pretty much better than us.
Yeah.
So how much of that is down to the players, and what level of responsibility are you willing to take? Is what I'm asking. Not that there's any problem.
And broadly speaking, just like what your team should be a bit of a mirror image of yourself. If you've got an attitude where when you lose, you go, "Oh, we're not good enough anyway." Imagine if one of the players did that. It'd be completely chastised by the entire football community. If a player came out and go, "Well, we're not really good enough, are we?" If Harry Kane came out and went, "Well, we're not good enough, so what's the point really anyway?" They can't behave like that. You can't keep saying. You can say it once and cryptically go, "Well, look, we need a lot more to get up to the top." But then once that's happening, then get on with it. I also think that that's the story around him. That's the narrative around him. So he does get asked questions, that line of questioning often, but he needs to be better at showing an element of stoicism to go, and I know it's like it's a bit maybe a bit over the top, but you have to show positivity. I don't know what he's trying to do here.
Yeah, I mean I think partly. I don't know what. His way is his way, and I've already said, just let him do what he wants, and ultimately let him say what he wants. I don't care if he can deliver. And I agree with him that our squad isn't good enough to finish in the top four, and if we did, it would be a massive overachievement. But 2 games ago, before we'd lost both home games to Southampton and then Wolves, we were in a really good position, and everyone was talking about top 4. Southampton on paper aren't a better side than Spurs. The very few Southampton players you would say, more Spurs players get into that Southampton side than the other way around, right? So what's it about then? If that's the case, what's it about? Hasenhüttl had Conte's number in that game, and I would argue, Wolves. Both teams are very good as well. I mean, in terms of their form recently, Southampton especially have had some really good results. So they should have slapped Man United at Old Trafford as well. They ended up drawing. And Large is, I think he's done fantastically well at Wolves.
Giving it large, isn't he?
Giving it large, yeah. And even the Brighton game. If you look at the Brighton game, we won 3-1, but they controlled most of that game. So I don't know. Look, it's not it's going to take time.
Yeah,
and there's clearly we do need to sign quality rather than because when Kulusevski and Bentancur joined, if they had joined from Porto as opposed to Juve, we'd have been less excited, I guess. Do you know what I mean? So there's that idea, but it's like if for so long, it's Spurs can't just lose a game, and it's like, all right, well we lost, and you lose games in professional football. Now there's an absolute media storm because of the comments of every single manager. It's like exhausting.
Yeah.
You've not only got to lose. You've not only got to lose. You've got to then read countless headlines, because every time I'm trying to build a running order for the podcast, I'm having to look at all these fucking news articles about the Athletics, an absolute nightmare. They're just piling them out.
It feels like there's for a long time it was the news, and we used to say on the pod, it's not news when Arsenal win, it's news when Arsenal lose, because it's all like, everything. We were chatting about it on the mailbag this week. Life is about numbers these days. Like, I was watching the Louis Theroux doc, and it's like everything is driven by numbers and attention. And for Arsenal, though, strangely, like the story arc has changed a little bit. You've got all these young guys now, and so if they lose one or two, fine. But I think actually people are starting to strangely root for Arsenal. But for Spurs, the attention and the eyeballs is not on Spurs doing well. It's on Spurs doing badly.
I think of all, I mean, previously Spurs were sort of inoffensive. West Ham hated us.
Maybe Arsenal dropped down to that level, to a point where they're clearly nowhere near challenging, that they've become slightly inoffensive.
Yeah, and Spurs are nowhere near either. But I do genuinely feel, and maybe all clubs feel this way, but I feel like most people don't like Tottenham. Everyone I speak to seems to hate Spurs. Even like for fans from like Championship clubs, I think it's probably down to the way Spurs fans behave. And West Ham fans have always said that we are well above our station. You believe we're a massive club when we're not, kind of thing. That's why they hate us. That we kind of goad about things without winning anything, and are very arrogant with it. And there is definitely an element about that's carried from when Spurs used to win stuff. Massive side, still a massive side, right? But they used to win. We were the best team in Europe at one stage in the 60s. So we've grown up with all these stories. And the same way Liverpool fans have as well. It's only now that it's kind of the realization of these stories and the second coming of their success is evident. But for Spurs, that hasn't happened. So we're just sort of carrying on with this idea that Spurs on the pitch are on a level with anybody, when the reality is in 30 years we've won 3 trophies and 2 of those are a League Cup. So it's I think because of that, that's why most fans hate us. But I'd rather have that. I don't want to be like, what I found uncomfortable when we was under Pochettino is everyone quite liked us because of Pochettino and the.
You didn't like it?
No, not really. I like the positive media attention. Don't get me wrong, because that would contradict what I just said. Like, reading positive articles about Spurs means you don't have to deal with that shit, right? But now it's like, fuck, man. Every time you type in Tottenham into Google, which I have to do on a regular basis, it's just Conte saying the players are shit, can't finish top 4, but it's not just one article, it's 15, and I can't get to anything else other than what people are reporting on what Conte said. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to be liked by other clubs. The whole point is to be hated. Irrelevant.
I was thinking that with Newcastle, it's an interesting time for them, where at the moment, sort of, what you're sort of watching from afar, and this obviously spent the money that could keep them up. Trippier's done his metatarsal, I think, which I'd be a bit worried about if I was a Newcastle fan. But
has he really?
I still think they'll be all right.
Are they out of the bottom 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a little bit of a gap as well between.
They've won 3 on the bounce. That's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Trippier's been huge in that. But what I can see is like everyone's kind of like, oh, Newcastle, okay, well, they're over there and they're spending a bit of money. It's a bit of fun. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Like, everyone loves shopping, don't they? So let's okay, who are these new players? Okay, all right, they're staying up, fine. As soon as they start to get 8th, 7th, the stream of hatred that will come because of these big fan bases is going to go through the roof. Like, clip this up, I'm telling you. Give it 18 months. Because at the moment, when you're just buying Target and you're buying Dan Burn, everyone's okay with it. When you start picking off these players from that you want, then all these entitled big fans, and I'm not saying all big fans are entitled, but I'm saying there are entitled fans within big clubs, they'll go after Newcastle, and everyone kind of finds it charming at the moment, but they won't.
No, we need to turn on them immediately. Everybody, there needs to be a barrage of negative energy going towards Newcastle. It should have happened as soon as they got this money.
Well, obviously the focus is on Newcastle because understandably they're a huge club. But
people laugh at Newcastle when they went down there. They do get grief. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know that. But they also there's not for the amount of virtue signalling that goes on and the amount of moral outrage that everyone's desperate to offload to the world to prove that they're good people. There is no focus on Norwich ever, who are a really sustainable club. That within this relegation fight, them and Burnley, there should be a really clear focus of like, these are the guys we should be like hoping get over the line here. Like Norwich,
if we're rooting for someone, it would be Norwich.
It should be, yeah, massively.
Yeah,
not,
I mean, if I had
for the fact that they are well run and actually haven't, because you talk about Chelsea buying it. Newcastle have been able to press a button, and of course they've not been able to press this button for a long, long time because Ashley's a twat. We know all that, but they've been able to press a button to bring in all these players, which will probably get them over the line. Norwich aren't able to do that.
I think if out of everybody I'd like to see go down, out of that bottom, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams, so Leeds, Everton, Newcastle, Norwich, Watford and Burnley, I think seeing Newcastle, Everton, Leeds go down would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
So go on, yeah. So in terms of it being funny for you, your bottom three are which three?
Leeds, Everton, and Newcastle.
Yeah, that would be the funniest.
That's a dream.
yeah. But I don't think that will be the case. But I mean, in terms of meltdown, it's definitely those three because it's huge clubs, huge.
Yeah,
clubs.
Massive, and it'd just be interesting to see like them three and the. I mean, Leeds have been down and.
Watch out for Everton. They've won one game, fine, and they probably should stay up. And I think the reason they will stay up is because I don't see these three getting to 30 points. Any of them?
No. It's
despite the amount of games that are left, I just don't see them getting there. So you've only got to get to 30 points if you're these guys, which should be enough. But
we're playing Burnley in 2 weeks, so that'll be 17 for them at least.
Right. Well, they've only won one game all season. But Everton, if it will ever click on it, Everton's run of games is really tough. And so although they've got that victory against Leeds, they need a few more. Southampton tough. Then look, Man City, Spurs, Wolves going for it. Watford relegation battle away from home. West Ham going for top 4. Man United going for top 4. Palace, fair enough. You should get that at home. Merseyside derby, Chelsea, Leicester.
Have Everton never been in below the top division?
No, I don't think they've been relegated from the top division. I think it's them and Arsenal the only two. I think.
Ever been relegated? That's mad, and they've flirted with it, but that's an incredible achievement, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh no, they were relegated in 50-51, but it was 70 odd years.
Okay, 70 odd years.
Still.
I mean, they're not too big to go down. No one's too big to go down, But I just don't think. That said, I think they're too big to go down.
I don't think Arsenal have ever been relegated, but Arsenal have never been promoted. So legally, anyway.
Mm. Let's get through these.
Only team in the history of English football, along with being the Invincibles, the only team to get promoted by finishing 6th in the league. Strange that.
Mm.
Only team to be promoted from the division below the top one, not on merit. Not because they deserve to, based on what happened on the football pitch, but for other reasons.
Okay. Jim Big Laugh Award, Uber Melon. I love how this non-football podcast puts the football chat at the beginning to get it out the way. and get to the important stuff that everyone tunes in for, like knobs and bottoming. That made me laugh out loud. So you're a nominee. Well done, Uber Melon. And Owen Taylor, hopefully everyone remembers the West Brom Bob saga. I did reach out to Bob this morning, see if there was any kind of update. Has there been one? No.
Has he not even replied? Maybe he's...
Not replied, I don't know.
Maybe he's dead.
Nando, if you're knocking about, Nando might have to give the update for him in the chat. If there is an update in the chat...
No, we do need to know that he's safe and well.
I'm sure he is.
First. Let's find that out first, to check that he's alive, and then...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Well, surely his mate would know. Is he alive? Let us know quick.
I'm pretty sure he's
alive.
Owen Taylor, this one goes out to West Brom Bob and any other young fella. Never be an emotional fluffer. You'll only get hurt. And that was to do with the situation that he finds himself in, where he is the uni boyfriend to a lady who's got a home boyfriend who's a Ipswich mechanic.
Yeah, so she keeps getting hold of him and he loves her.
Yeah.
He absolutely loves her. He's what did he call her? He's oxygen, he's air supply or something.
He's claimed that he would go to war for her.
But she's made it clear to him that it's just a fling.
I'm getting nervous here. West Brom Bob, I haven't seen him in weeks, says Matthew Blake. Well, I'm sure he's fine. He's fine.
Let us know.
Please let us know. Comments of the week then. Romdog117. I feel like we need to hear the mechanic side of the story. I'd like to hear that. I think that's fair. Daniel Burgess. I, as a mechanic from Ipswich, can say I'm really looking forward to this pod, as it's the highlight of my week. Hope nothing comes up that could potentially ruin my relationship with my girlfriend. That's a uni.
That's amazing.
Really good. Really good. Asteral, I'm not going to lie, as someone who finds making amateur movies fun, my mind is now buzzing with possibilities of developing a story for the mechanic from Ipswich and how that would play out. I would like to read that story. 2 paragraphs tops. I don't want too much reading.
Well,
2 paragraph story.
Going to make a film. Surely he could make it and we could show it.
That was good. So that's an option. Let's develop this idea. The mechanic from Ipswich. Who's the? I guess we know who the key characters are here. Asterell, that's a job for you then. Write the script.
Asterell, just get your mates involved. Write the script. Actually, I don't want to see the script. I just want to see the finished product of your mates acting out roles. It may be a single man show where the Ipswich mechanic is discovering about West Brom Bob.
All you got to do as well. This could be a 6-parter. Just give us the first part, and that's a minute. We need a minute, and this could be the mechanic from Ipswich. It could be that could be in the Oscar nominees next year. The Bears at 44. This was a couple of weeks ago, of course. So go check out that pod. But Flav said that Ross County was a cesspit. No.
No, I think I could have.
He said something. He said it was a hole, basically.
Shit. Was it a shithole?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Something very mean and condescending.
It says, as a Ross County season ticket holder.
God, I knew that. There was only about 15 people in the stadium. How have we got one of them watching this fucking pod?
I'd like to point out that Victoria Park, also known as the Pits. The Pits.
That's what I called it. The Pits.
Is situated in Dingwall, which has a population of 4,000, with an average attendance of about 3 to 3.5 thousand. I think this actually technically makes us the best supported club per population in Britain, compared to Spurs' 60-odd thousand attendees in a city of 9 million. I'd argue that Spurs are more of a small-time club. Having said that, I was in Dundee last Wednesday amongst the 67 county fans, witnessing a 2-1 defeat to Dundee.
God bless you, mate. I apologise. I often say things for the sake of saying them, rather than actually thinking that anyone's going to actually hear them.
I think that's quite tame. The Pits. Loftus Road is the Pits. I love the idea. We should bring that back, like 1950s. Like insults to make them cool again, because like say with like kids' names, there's lots of like Archies, there's lots of like everyone's going to like the 50s these days for their names. So can we go back for our insults? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So Dingwall. It just looks like I don't remember. I don't remember setting this.
Killing me. Go on.
I don't remember setting this. It was 11 a.m. and there's I've set an alarm for myself at some point, and it says, "Be doing something good," and that was it.
We can only move forward.
And now here we are. We move forward. We can only move forward. What must it be like that Dingwall, the little town of Dingwall, 4,000 people, 3.5, how many, like 3.5 thousand are in there. If Ross County have a great result, the whole town must be buzzing. Yeah, it must be like what that'd be incredible. I might come up to Dingwall.
Yeah, that would be great. Walking down the street, anyone you see, you're just going.
Yeah.
Going, how's it going? Not bad, eh? Not bad Saturday, eh? Not bad. How was Saturday?
Oh, mate, it is fucking miles away. It is miles away. I'm just having a look at Dingwall.
What were you expecting?
No, it's not just Scotland. It's the north. That would take forever. Fuck that. I'm not going there. Not to watch Ross County, for fuck's sake. That's why so many of them go. There's literally nothing else to do there. There is freezing, bitterly cold wind and Ross County. That's what Dingwall's all about.
Nice. Sokwon Kim, I love listening. This is the most liked comment. Said, I love listening to Flav's objective and grounded takes on Arsenal. What Arsenal can and can't do.
Yeah, I can't remember what I said.
I don't know. But fortunately for you, Sokwon, it's we've had another podcast talking about Arsenal. Happy days. And Mango 4TTW0. I watched the 1998 Cup final with a Geordie mate in an East End pub. Some Arsenal fans were there telling us to fuck off. I could not believe how miserable they were. They had just won the freaking double. If you're not going to be happy now, when are you? Many years of living in London after that confirmed my first reactions to a lot of Arsenal fans. Never going to be happy.
I think you may have just bumped into some of the most miserable people on earth, but I'm pretty sure I remember Islington, which is where I grew up, in absolutely unbearable for Spurs fans during that period. They were pretty loud, but
a lot of Arsenal bashing today, sadly, but can happen. What I would say, I think you'll get top four. I think you'll get top four.
Oh, fuck off, James.
Woeful fan interaction. /weak chat. So if you haven't checked this one out before in previous podcasts, basically it's just poor chat, just weak chat on the terraces. And here
it's not strong. It's not chat that isn't strong. It's
what was the one? Didn't you said one, didn't you? What was your one?
About 40 times. What was it? No,
when you were a kid, you shouted something.
Yeah, it's just. I think I've said it about 8 times, but I shouted, "The only thing you're going to win is promotion," to a Premier League side. Made no sense at all. Paul was weak. Didn't think it through. I was 11.
Yeah, these things happen. Robbie Fagandini, weak chat. I was at Wimbledon last summer for the tennis. There is some football in the story, don't worry. And midway through the match, a member of the crowd shouted, "It's coming home." This was during the Euros, after all, and spirits were still very much alive. His shout was met with a smattering of titters before one man decided to loudly shout, "Ha ha! Wrong sport, mate!"
Poor.
His voice seemed to die off midway. "Oh, wrong sport, mate!" As he realised the tepid nature of his retort. It was met with deathly silence, and I like to think he stared sullenly into strawberries for the rest of the match. Cheers, lads. That is weak.
It was great that when England were doing brilliantly, wasn't it? And everyone, you just wish, people didn't know it's coming out.
Yeah,
it's coming out. I'd be saying it to myself all the time. It's such a wonderful thing when the entire nation is together and pulling in one direction.
I was a bit narcissistic in my content, where I was like, I'm not saying it until we get until I really know. And then I said it before the Italy game. Good decision. Nah, I'm not jinx. It's just fairies. That's just fairy stuff. Rory Woof, please tell me that's your surname. Please tell me your surname is Woof.
Woof.
Please reply with picture of you, birth certificate, and a spoon. Woof. Rory Woof. Amazing. What a name.
Yeah, beautiful.
Likes cats. Weak, generally not great chance. Was at Coventry Ipswich a couple of years ago, and we were near a steward who was clearly a Coventry fan, as we were. When Ipswich equalised, the home end was imaginably quiet, apart from an overly confident shout of bloody Northerners from the said steward. The whole thing felt a bit, who's going to tell her? So someone shouted, so it's Ipswich Coventry, which is not, that's not north, is it? And then some woman shouted bloody Northerners.
I mean, it's marginally north. I think Ipswich is quite high up on the east coast, isn't it? So yeah, doesn't quite work.
Okay. Last one, Jimmy Danger. Please tell me that's your surname, Jimmy Danger.
A mate of mine, when Spurs were playing Southampton, I won't say his name because I think he watches this, but he was just fucking drunk, so drunk, and he just kept giving it to the Southampton players. And one thing, he ran out of things to say, and he just said, "You fucking boat pricks," because they've got a little chip on their badge. That's what he came up with. You boat pricks.
Boat pricks.
Yeah, there was a woman who moved away from him in front of him.
Moved away from
She moved away from him. She was like,
yeah, boat pricks. I'm gonna have to leave him, afraid. When I was about 11, 12, I once shouted, "Stone him."
Wow.
During a quiet moment towards a poor refereeing decision.
Stone him!
Stone him.
That's so heavy.
Stone him! Towards poor refereeing decision. I got plenty of laughs from the back of the Holt to my young surprise. My uncle was very proud, and every now and then he'd nudge me to say it throughout the season. Even though I knew the timing was poor, the laughs soon turned to groans as the patience ran thin during the poor season. I'm now 26 and still haven't forgiven my uncle for ringing what was a great off-the-cuff jibe completely dry. Brilliant. Stone him.
No. Stone him.
The best one-off shout that I've never heard again was someone saying, do you remember Uriah Rennie? I'm sure I've told you this. Uriah Rennie was refereeing one of our games and he was giving bad things. He went, "Fucking hell, Rennie, you give me heartburn." That was good.
That's very good.
That's good.
I did that.
Unwritten rules. Now, as everyone knows who's been listening to the unwritten rules of football, what is rule number 1, Flav?
What
is rule number 1 of the unwritten rules? So it's to do with Chelsea.
Oh, if you've won the Champions League, you can't. What was it? I can't remember.
You can't ever go at the board if you're kings of Europe.
Yes, that's unfair, unreasonable.
Yeah, and now the world.
Yeah.
Now, dangerous start, but I think he makes some good points here. This is you know how we do. But the dangerous start to a paragraph, especially with this podcast, is to say, all jokes aside, as a Chelsea supporter, dangerous. But well, let's see where he goes. I can understand you guys making fun of some of our fans, since they often can be ridiculous with their criticism of Mr. Abramovich and our transfer policies, always wanting every best player. Why the fuck would we need Haaland or Dembele when we literally have like 20 forwards, for example? Obviously, he's done an incredible job and we would be nowhere without him. But there's always has to be a healthy, and whatever the opposite of toxic is, discussion about the current situation and the way the club is moving forward to maintain our success. Since we don't want to end up like Arsenal or Man United, brackets, no offence. I don't think you can... You're better off just owning that instead of doing the no offence. Although, there really isn't much to criticise now. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be able to just because we won the Champions League last season.
Yes, it does.
I hope you get what I'm saying. Anyway,
no,
love the pod. Hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great week as well, mate.
I hope you have a great week, but all your post is complete nonsense.
Wait till May. That's what I'd say. Go mad in
August. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. The rule 1 is there for a reason. You're not allowed to criticise the board. They've not only just won the Champions League, didn't they strengthen by spending £100 million on a forward in the summer?
I think.
How can you criticise Abramovich?
Whilst selling a couple of assets that weren't first team regulars for essentially the same amount. So it's kind of like you actually only bought Lukaku for about 8 million or something.
Oh yeah, of course, Abramovich
because Abraham and Tomori went, rightly or wrongly.
Wow. Yeah. So I'm afraid, my friend, and you're entitled to your opinion. And thank you for supporting the pod and watching every week. But you cannot criticise Abramovich on footballing terms at all.
Or ever.
At all.
Ever.
I don't think ever. Yeah. I think we should. If this is your lot, if Chelsea never win another trophy again, you've had so much more than most fans will ever have, and you should be grateful for it. Complain 6 months after lifting the Champions League trophy and spending £100 million on Lukaku, and then say, "Is Abramovich? Is he good enough for the job? Is he the right owner?" Fucking nonsense.
Still in the Champions League, in the League Cup final, still in the FA Cup. But they're not going to win the league though this year.
Unbelievable. This is the problem. This is the real problem with football, and it's not their fault, Chelsea fans, because there'll be people in every fan base saying the exact same thing about their own football club. When you're successful, when you expect success, it becomes such a less enjoyable task.
I broadly completely understand and appreciate the comment, but the rule stands, I'm afraid. At least wait till June.
June 2023.
All right, he wants to put a year on it. Fair enough. Daniel Dyson, unwritten rule from a section of Villa Park that I do not want to see become a Jaffin official unwritten rule. Brackets from friend of a moisty.
From a friend of a moisty? What's that mean?
Is he trying to gain status because he knows someone who's a moisty? It costs them less than a high-end London pint.
Yeah, but he's from the Midlands. You could get about 15 pints for £4 up there.
Maybe. So this happened at Villa Park. This is good. Whenever an argument broke out between two fans around me, they'd have it out for a bit, and if tensions looked like they were going to boil over, someone would intervene and say, "Listen, gents, what colour runs through our veins?" To which the two men would almost always reply, "Same colour that's on the shirt, mate." This bizarre question and answer seemed to have an instant calming effect on whoever was having it out, and the argument would cease. I found it really weird.
That I get it. I've got experiences where that hasn't worked. This basically you use we're all Spurs, lads. Come on, calm down. We're all Spurs. There are plenty of Spurs fans out there utter tools who need a slap.
Yeah, my theory is always that every football club has 10% of their fans are morons.
more than 10%.
At least 10%. So, but the bigger the club, the more morons.
The thing is though, if that is the same percentage, truth, that is the truth. But are you in that 10%? Some people might think I am.
Yeah, me too.
So, don't know who is in the 10%.
So yeah, that's an unwritten rule at Villa Park that I'm happy for. Yeah, I'm not sure. It felt a bit like you shake hands, you got to sort of apologise to each other. You know, with little kids, you got to go, no, you say sorry to him and he'll say sorry to you. A bit like that. Didn't really like it. Hugo Holm, unwritten rules. When any one of the referees fall over, the rivalry and hatred between supporters disappears for a few seconds and they unite in a loud "Way!"
That's true.
To celebrate the referee's mistake. Afterwards, they go back to hating each other as if nothing ever happened.
That goes in.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Poor referees. Jack Ward, unwritten rules. When the opposing team makes a substitution, this is true. I love this. Makes a substitution. The player will be welcomed onto the pitch by the home crowd screaming, "Who? Who?
Who are you?"
We always do that. Who? The best part about this is no player is exempt. Whether it's Nathan Teller or Jack Grealish, the same treatment will be given. That's true.
So, and I would add a caveat to that is that there is an impending and unspoken dread and sense of foreboding that the player you're saying, "Who are you?" as they come on is about to score against you.
Yeah.
That everyone thinks it. Should we boo him? Should we be saying, "Who are you?" Because the minute he scores, he's going to run towards us, put his hand to his ear and give it some.
Yeah. They've all, I swear, I think I've said this a few times, players they've gone up a notch in their giving it large to the fans this year. I think they're just like, they're all buzzing from the fact that, the fans are back. Right, we finish off with a Samism and an inverse footballer's wangs. First of all, the Samism. Jesse Bryce heard a belter of a Samism on the NFL coverage of Rams versus Buccaneers. This is when you get two phrases mixed up. The Rams won it in the last second of the game, producing an utter corker from comms, which was, "The Rams win it by the hair of their skinny teeth." Lots to unpack. Indeed. The Rams win it by the hair
of their skinny teeth.
Skinny teeth.
Skinny. So
chinny chin chin. We've got there's so much to get through here. The hair. What is the skin of your teeth, isn't it?
Sorry, hang on a second, mate. Yeah, skin of your teeth. You break it down. I've just got to jump off for 2 seconds.
All right, help me out here in the chat, lads and ladies. Skin of your teeth. I'm going to go to it so you can see it, guys. Skin of your teeth. Hair of your chinny chin chin, isn't it? Yeah. So by the hair on my chinny chin chin, which wouldn't be used in anything. And then yeah, skin of your teeth.
Sorry about that.
Absolutely mad.
That is amazing. It's so wrong.
He's got confused with hair.
It makes complete sense.
Yes, he's got confused with hair on your chinny chin chin and winning something by the skin of your teeth. Okay.
And winning something by a. I think it's actually no, I can't say that. It's like a pubic hair winning something like a C-bomb hair.
It's different language you just spoke there. So there's your Samism. I thought it was a good one, so I checked it in. We finish off with Daniel Dyson, who's got himself an inverse Footballer's Wang story.
Sing it.
Footballer's Wang's can happen to you. Look at me. Did you actually? Yeah, we shouldn't talk about it. But there was I saw a Footballer's Wang in the in social media supposedly this week.
Whose is it?
It's a important player for Liverpool. Did you see that?
What full thing? Full package? Do you see everything?
If it was, I mean, we allegedly, we just don't know. We just don't know.
I don't know what you're
basically
it's
yeah.
Oh, hold on, the Salah stuff.
Yeah,
allegedly. What's the big deal? So he's got a penis. Sometimes people see it.
I did the Super Bowl stream with Loz, and as soon as we went live on it, people just go and talk about. Have you seen Footballer's Wangs? Footballer's Wangs, and then somehow, oddly, Terry Venables got brought up. And I was just sat there smiling, going, "Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it." It's like a sponsored stream.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Don't talk about Terry. Don't talk about Terry. Anyway,
Can you finish the song? Footballer's Wangs can happen to you.
Look at me. I saw tells. Occasionally it happens. But you know you got to be strong. Got to be strong.
Got to be strong. You can get through this.
Dear. I bloody love Terry Venables, and it feels like it's a shame that's going to follow me around. Anyway, Daniel Dyson, inverse Footballer's Wang story. My parents used to be a host family for Villa academy players, and a couple of years ago, a young Jacob Ramsey, aka Grealish 2.0, is that not Callum O'Hare, was staying at our house for about a month. One morning, my brother was enduring quite an intense hungover trip to the toilet. Brackets, so intense, he'd had to fully strip naked. He was so hungover, he had to fully strip naked. In his hungover state, he'd also forgotten to lock the door. A poor 18-year-old Jacob Ramsey walked unsuspectingly into our bathroom and saw my brother fully naked, bent over, wiping his arse, and quickly ran out of the room. It's fair to say that my brother reckons he and Jacob did not make eye contact for the rest of this stay at our home.
That's good.
I had that with my best mate's dad. When he came to see us at uni, I hadn't locked the door, and he walked in on me in the toilet once.
You were on the toilet?
I was on the toilet, yeah, and he came in.
That's not too bad.
That's terrible, but it wasn't. Yeah, not ideal. And
obviously, when you're sitting on a toilet, you tuck your dick down, don't you? You don't. I'd imagine you, Jim, right? I'd imagine you. You're on the toilet.
Fuck off.
And you bring your balls and your dick above your lap, so they're just sort of like a little cake on top of your lap. Most people point their plonker into the toilet. You lift your balls up and put them onto your legs for no reason.
What? When I'm having a wee?
When you're having a poo?
Oh right. Once I've had the initial wee,
and then they're up. But just no one does that in the world, but you, Jay.
Like a sort of
You bring
like a genital patty.
Yeah, you bring your balls up, your substantial balls, and you rest.
Got to stop it.
And you rest them on the tops of your legs, and you keep them closed.
So weird. Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, so yeah, that happened, and then I went. When uni finished, I went to see my mate, and honestly, this must have been at 6:30 in the evening, right? We're gonna go to this Chinese restaurant, and we're just about to leave, and I was like, I'll nip to the toilet before we go because we're gonna walk down. I walk into they were in their home. Walk into their bathroom.
He's got you back, isn't he?
I walk into the bathroom. He's in the bath. It's 6:30 in the evening. He's in the bath. And I sort of panicked. I went, ha, we're even.
I bet he didn't even remember, did he?
He probably wouldn't remember. He's proper northern bloke as well. He's great.
And the thing is you can't not look, can you? It's instinct.
No,
you're definitely going straight. You're looking straight at the dick. Straight within milliseconds, your eyes go to the dick.
Yeah, there's just no way.
It's just normal. It's natural.
There's no way around.
Don't worry about. There's no way around it. Accept it.
Yeah, enjoy it. It.
If anything, enjoy it if you can.
Enjoy it. Right. And there is your podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
We can only move forward.
We can only move forward a lot today.
If we can in the comments and in the chat right now, if we can round the podcast off with our motto, our moniker, and the notion that we live our lives by, and that would be, we can only move forward.
Indeed. Happy days. Right, let's move forward together into the weekend, and all good vibes for the Rangers, please. Let's get a victory. Let's get ourselves back on top. And as the we can only move forward, fly into the chat. As I said, if you want to become a patron and be able to write those 5 words in the chat itself, then there is a link in the description. You can do it for $4 a month. It's nothing.
It's so odd. I love it. I love it so much.
Become a moisty our little girl.
Victor again. That's the second comment he's made. We can only move forward.
Right. Lots of love. Speak soon. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Bye.